to? I'm calling supervisor.
Okay.
I'm the supervisor here, so let me identify myself first and foremost.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a supervisor here at Gallagher Bassett for Penske.
Okay.
We are third-party administrators.
Okay.
We handle claims on behalf of Penske and their insurance company, who is Old Republic of Canada.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. What was your ultimate destination?
Calgary.
I just want to hear your side of it first.
Okay, so it began where I rented a truck, a Penske 16-foot truck from Toronto, and I drove it. My destination was to Calgary, and it broke down mechanically in a place called Gladstone, Manitoba. I understand you had rented a Penske truck on March 23rd. Well, I did. It's not disputable. And packed your belongings in the truck yourself with the intentions to move to Calgary. It actually doesn't even matter where I moved. I don't have a contract with Penske saying I must move. The contract was breached, period.
According to our last statement, there was no strapping or securement of the contents to
I'm
travel
asking
from
you
Toronto
how many straps would prevent damage, and what damage would it prevent?
I'm not a professional at moving, but what I do know is you told me that none of the items were secured.
Well, I mean, depending on what that word means, right? I mean, I had bubble wrap on things. I had things wrapped in blankets. I had things wrapped between boxes for protection. So, I mean, and I did move the entire truck in a U-Haul, and I moved it there safely. So whatever I did fine. And, I mean, it didn't include a truck towing to damage it. So I didn't prepare for that, no. And then I stayed another night, and I was waiting to get the vehicle back, and I didn't get the vehicle back until about 5:30 that evening. So essentially in like the 3 days were taken, away from my time that I'd rented the vehicle, and I was 3 days behind schedule. So at that point, the contract, in my opinion, was breached. It actually doesn't even matter where I moved. I don't have a contract with Penske saying I must move. The contract was breached, period. We have since been provided with a detailed list. However, I wish to acknowledge that not all items are priced, which is why we have to have a discussion. We also received a number of comparables which have not been specifically referenced to the items, and we can go through all that. I can help you figure out what goes with what and what your questions are there, because I'm sure you probably have some. I did my best with trying to put everything together. I had the manager of that hotel, and her name is Kim, and I spoke with her hoping that she could just verify to Colleen and to Colleen to call her. I actually gave her the phone number, that she drove me out to the repair Davidson's Towing Auto Body Shop the next day, and I was going to get my computer out of the back of the truck, and I didn't get it because I couldn't open the back any more than a foot and a little bit. So it was impossible to get anything out. I could see that it was a complete disaster. There was some sort of substance all over my belongings back there. At the time, I thought it was a fire extinguisher that went off, because I had that back there, but I didn't know for sure. It was a mangled disaster just from what I could see. I went back into the car and I told this manager of the hotel that, and we just went back to the hotel. I didn't get my computer, so she was aware that there was instant damages. What happened was I continued driving, and I drove to Alberta, and I knew the contents were a mess, and I came to Edmonton first because I had my son lives in Edmonton and my parents live in Edmonton, and I had some gifts for them, and I was going to have him help me get everything organized. And as I was coming towards Edmonton, I was just before Sherwood Park, lights started to go back on again. And I was like, oh great, this is like the third time this has happened. So I called Penske again. I told them about that. I also told them that my back hatch was not opening, so I'm going to need some help to get that opened, because all the contents had shifted so badly we couldn't even open the door. So they sent a repairman out to unblock the door for me, and he did that in Edmonton, and instantly it was just a disaster. And so then I called the guy that I rented it from, Mohammed, and the manager of Penske in Toronto, and he told me that I could bring it in. The guy that came and repaired it said he recommended also it get brought in. At this point, we had the service stability track, the service traction control, and then the engine light came on after, the next day. So what happened was the guy that came out to get it said, you want to take all this stuff out of the cab if you bring it in. So I took my stuff and put it into a storage unit in Edmonton. And as I was unpacking stuff, I took photos. I noticed lots of stuff was damaged. And in doing so, I had bruises all over my body, and I broke my rib. I broke my 9th rib undoing this, moving this stuff into this storage unit. Then lights came on again in Saskatchewan, in Moosomin, Saskatchewan, and I ended up getting the vehicle called Penske, so I didn't do this myself. Had the vehicle towed to a repair shop, and what happened was the tow truck driver, he put the vehicle on the tow hoist, and then he pulled over to attend to another vehicle that was stuck in a snowbank, and he pulled it out and then put my vehicle right back up on it. So my vehicle was in fact towed twice. It was pretty much like off-roading, so once he picked me up, we went to back roads to get to his shop, or a shop. I don't know if it was his shop, I think it was somebody else's shop, but my vehicle contents were basically mangled in this trip. He picked me up, put the vehicle on the hoist, drove probably 15 minutes, put my vehicle down, picked up another vehicle, and pulled it out of the snowbank, then got my vehicle back up and took it to Davidson's repair shop, and going from that accident, like with the other car into the repair shop, we were going down a very, very, I don't think I've ever been on a road that's more bumpy than that road. I actually have, I have photos when I was in the truck of the, I was sitting in the cab of the tow truck. It was like a semi truck, so it was cool. I've never sat in one of those. And then when he pulled over, he took my vehicle down, and there was police there, and they were just pulling this. He just came to show up and pull this dude out. And I actually photographed that, so I sent that to them, and I told them it was the same guy that towed my vehicle twice within an hour of each other. I would say probably 45 minutes maybe. Yeah, on the same night. So the towing, and then Shailene was saying, the towing happened in Edmonton and in Saskatchewan, and I'm like, you guys aren't even listening to the story here. You have informed our office that you have experienced mechanical difficulties with the Penske vehicle, and the vehicle was towed to a repair facility in Saskatchewan, and then again towed to a repair facility when you reached Alberta. Your content, so it's not Alberta, and that's completely incorrect. We're aware of that, right?
It was towed in Saskatchewan, yes.
Yeah, so this is, I never said this.
So the insurance company is prepared at this point to provide for full and final settlement at $10,450. Your hotel from Saskatchewan was $250.70, right? And then I allotted $200 for food. You said you didn't eat, but let's give you something there. That's fine. And then the $10,000 is literally the maximum that I'm allowed to offer you at this point, that I'm authorized to offer, based on all of the information that we have received to date.
I've been stranded here in Edmonton, and I just feel like I've been getting the runaround, and I haven't gotten anywhere with Colleen and Shailene, who was appointed by Colleen here in Edmonton to talk to me and meet with me, and she did. She came out to the storage unit. I gave her a recorded statement, which I later was told I shouldn't have done. What is your email, please? I'm going to send you a link of the damaged items. I'm going to send you that.
Gregory?
Shailene was going to come out on Friday. I don't know if that's still happening because I don't have receipts. I'm like, how is that even related? But she was going to come out to the storage unit on Friday. And maybe, that somebody should come out and verify it so that I don't know what to do with this stuff. I don't want it because it's damaged, and do you know what I'm saying? I move it, and then I'm going to get accused of damaging it even further, and I'm in a pickle here. I'm in a bind. I hope you can kind of understand, see what I'm saying.
And to no fault of yours, you don't have receipts for your furniture.
No.
People don't keep receipts forever. You know what I mean? Here you want to try and get this done sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I just want to move forward. I can't, I'm stranded here. I'm literally feel like I'm being held hostage in Edmonton, that I can't go forward because I can't move the stuff out of storage, or I'm going to be accused of damages. Two of them are so concerned with this furniture damage that's in my truck. There's so much other damage. Like, I have an injured rib. I've been displaced and stuck in Edmonton. I have an online store that has not been functionable. I have had no computer, internet. Like, it's just been, there's a lot of things that have, gone wrong. And it's been 6 months of this. And no one's rectifying this. No one's making it better for me. And I decided, you know what, I have to take this up a level and see if there's somebody else out there that can make results happen, because I don't want to be stuck in Edmonton anymore. It's like I'm stranded. I can't leave, because if I leave, I can't take this. I don't, firstly, for 3 reasons. Shailene's asked me, why haven't you moved the stuff in the storage unit? And I said, well, because you guys are going to blame me and say I damaged it by moving it from here to another place. I also was injured. I also have had no direction as to how this process works. I have asked them multiple times in email, and I can verify that I've asked that question. I've had no guidance as to what to do next, and I don't want a whole bunch of damaged furniture.
I heard you say that there are other things that were not discussed.
Yeah.
Why don't we go over those things right now, just to make sure that I have a fulsome appreciation for what it is that this situation involves.
Okay, I'm gonna say the number one most pressing issue right now is I need to get a hotel paid for here in Edmonton or anywhere while this is going on. That's a priority. I'm stuck and I need a place to stay.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
So in these such matters, like I said, we're not the insurance company or anything like that. The only way that all of it, like, we can't issue what I would kind of call an advance payment. We can't.
Yeah, I still haven't been paid for the hotel in Saskatchewan, so I don't. And if I was to, I added this up and I sent them a notice that if I was to have paid just that same price, I'd be at $22,000 for a hotel. I can't do that. I need a place to stay. I can't wait until this is, until this is negotiated.
Yeah, like I said, the only way that this is going to get resolved is on a full and final basis, and that's where, like I said, if you had wanted the $10,000 that they were offering at that point in time, they would have been prepared to cut a check for you at that point in time.
Yeah, and that's silly, right? That was.
Right. Well, that was unacceptable for you, but I'm just saying that.
I think it's an insult that they would even offer that, to be honest. And I flew back from Los Angeles, and I would rather be there than here. I'm in Edmonton. Like, that's damages enough, right? I have trauma from this city.